Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P Funk, thinking right out here in my lab. I went in my archives and found a couple of old lessons I'm gonna bring out. I slipped by, so I just found them. One's from 122-23, so over 2 years. All right, but good message. As I read through, I said, boy, you had some issues back then 2 years ago. So I'm gonna go back and get this lesson. It should be fun. Let's go. Rightism, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You children receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get that together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you got an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. Know thyself. There's 5 kinds of people. Just in case you didn't know, this is my disclosure before I start my lessons. The 5 kinds of people are a person who knows not, and knows not that they know not. They're foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not, and knows that they know not. They're simple. Okay, but you can teach them. They're willing to learn. That's what I do for you, and I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. That person who knows not, there's a lot of that going around, and believe and think that they know something. Dangerous. Avoid them. I do. Argumentative. A person who knows, but knows not that they know, they are spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. Why? I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with what? Knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows not, a person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. Why? All these persons reside in you, right thinkers. Know thyself and always to be true. I put the lesson out the archive. This ought to be fun. Right thinkers, let's talk about self-mastery. And that's my goal. That's what goal to get you. Is what? Learning and understanding our ancient spiritual truths from our ancient ancestors. My right thinking philosophy is named after me, but I mastered the ancient Egyptian philosophy we call Mayat, Semi-Tawi, or Shita Netta. It's right thinking because the lessons is all about me. Ego. Whatever. All right, here you go. Let's start. Now, obtaining spiritual knowledge is what gives you the ability to raise your consciousness, to become smarter with what knowledge that you're learning and that you're practicing by living it. It's now gnosis. You now know. That's acquired knowledge from experience. That's the best knowledge. I can talk till I get blue in the face. But the experience that you have trumps me every time. I ain't got a problem with that. Why? I get my knowledge the same way. Experience. Okay, when I speak, that's what I speak from. That's why. And I understand that I keep trying to explain to my followers these aspects of our inner self. We call them God and Goddesses characters. I use them after learning, mastering them, and now they're part of me. Okay, what the hell he talking about? I forget. When I started out, I was giving the God and Goddesses, breaking it down. So I forgot this is one of the lessons from 2 years ago. So let me interject a few things. Now, what I'm saying, so if you're studying right thinking philosophy, all right, now you're learning who the gods are. How? By their headdress. I gave a lesson, right, by the headdress. Okay. And now, remember, these God concepts, they're just concepts and functions and elements. They're not real people. I want you to understand that. Why? Because the Bible, if the Bible writers would have told the Bible thumpers, this is an allegorical, mythological book, astrologer, they would understand that sun is not a real person. It's the actual sun that goes south and stops from December 21st to December 24th and start back up. Simple as that. It ain't a real person dying. It's metaphysical. Well, I'll get back to the lesson stuff. I keep trying to get into y'all nonsense. I'm tired of trying to explain the Christian concept that y'all been misunderstanding for over 2,000 years. Sorry. That's why I don't follow the belief system. Y'all got it wrong. All right. But if you study, you will know your God and goddess aspects of your character by the headdress. They did that purposely. So you study to learn them. We gave them their identity. They're not real people. That's why I'm getting to this segue to get to this point right here. We gave air. We gave fire. We gave all the elements identity. Perfect example. The elements of that world. Fire, Ra. Air, Shu. Rain, Tough Newt. Heaven, Newt. Earth, Gab. But we have concepts and aspects of them. But these all represent characters of you that you can master to learn. I've been doing this for a long time and I hope you understand it. But that's what it's all about. They're not real people. I don't want you believing that Maya is a real person. She's a principle. She's a concept. Just like Tahuti. He ain't the damn king of Atlantis. Sorry. We gave them. They're mythological people. They're not real. How about that? Like you Christ. He's not real. Jesus not real. So, ain't no difference. Y'all concept ain't no different than ours. I understand it. Y'all just don't. So, sorry. That's why I teach mine. I know mine. Y'all can believe what you want. Let's go. You don't have to subscribe to right thinking philosophy. You ain't got to believe in the teaching that I put down on a day-to-day basis. But you have to understand, and my daughter said it best, and she got a PhD. She said, Papa Smurf, you always make sense. Thank you for paying attention. That's my goal, to give you something that makes sense, not a bunch of stupid nonsense. So, appreciate it, daughter. All right, Smurf. That's my Smurf hat. Okay, that's our little personal thing. Again, I get too personal. Say TMI. All right, but my daughter, she's proud of it. She understands when we talk. I give her good stuff, and she appreciates it. Thank you. Maya, my girl. This represents balance. And I did the zodiac thing. I tied Maya with the Libras, with the scales. So I did that lesson. I got that covered for you. But Maya breaks down as a philosophy, aka is a way of life that you can live, which represents righteousness, virtue, good things when daily. You practice it and make it a way of life. I live a spiritually disciplined lifetime. Why? I'm God conscious. And they just proved, my man, the neurologist, Joe Dispenza, he's telling us that when the monks go into meditative state, they had the AKEG hooked up to them. When you think of God, your whole consciousness rises as if you took a pilgrimage to Mecca or went to a church building or a temple where you're supposed to pray and get in communication with God, your higher self. Meditation does that. We knew that thousands of years ago. Y'all just find out and you just discovering. Y'all just substantiating what I know from my ancients thousands of years ago. I love this. I haven't been to no university. I ain't got no degree and none of that nonsense, but I know more about it than them. Why? My ancients taught me. Moving on. Again, Nazar God, you can't get no damn degrees. Universities. I mastered the art, the Maya philosophy. That means I know Maya philosophy. You can't master something and not know it. I mastered Masonry. Every aspect that I study, the idea and the goal is to master it. That means you got to practice it. You got to produce practical. Okay? You got two things: operative, talking, and practical, doing. You can think it, yeah, that's fine, but you got to do it too. That's experience. That's the key. Now, I mastered my Maya philosophy after what? You ready? How long it took me? 30 years. 1984, 1994, 204, 214. Take 10 years off of that and you move right up in the 30-year bracket. Wow, I think I didn't do it exactly then, but I backed it up a few years later when I started getting into learning and finding myself and practicing to know thyself. And what I practiced and what I lived and I know it works. Why? I mastered it. That's what I teach. I just put my spin on it to make it mine uniquely. Okay? Yeah. She taught Netta. Smatawi, my philosophy will always be what it is. But right thinking philosophy without me, there's nothing. I give it life. It's mine. That's the concept. Yeah, he tripping. Yeah, okay, it's all right. You can use my philosophy when daily, like I did, and make it part of your life. I do, and life is good for me. This was 2 years ago. It's even better now. My pastor tell you it gets gooder. Okay, that means everything you do, everything you touch, seems to work out. Okay, and if I was a gambling man, I'd be at the crap table throwing them things. Why, man? I'm lucky. Okay, I'm feeling it. And my brother, that's what he said. Yo, man, I'm taking you, man. I don't use my power for that no more, dog. I only use this for good stuff. How about that? All right, moving on. I'm a good guy now. I know that the Mayat philosophy can and will change your life. How you know? It changed mine. That's how. That's right there. So that question I can answer real quick. It changed mine. Moving on. I take my life in 10-year increments. And for the last 10 years, I've been hell-bent on studying, bettering myself, and changing myself to be a better me. And I got the kudos from my kids, from my friends. Everybody said, yeah, man, you changed. No, wait a minute. For the better? Yeah, okay, thank you. Change for the, no, was it a good change? Yeah, thank you. That's all I want to be recognized and understood for. I'm doing this. Nobody else is doing this. This is me, all me. My mom called me today to tell me the situation we going through, a lot of stuff going on. I ain't fazed by none of that. Well, baby, no, listen, understand. It ain't a facade. This is what it is. I had some problems in death in the family. Okay, I ain't freaking out. Moving on, but that's the whole idea. This is the lesson about if you got true mastery, death don't move you. Why? That's their problem, not mine. I miss them, but that's as far as I'm going. All right, moving on. Where we at? Now, I know, okay, I practice my philosophy, and it is now my way of life. Why? Because it works. It's been working for a long time for me. I just didn't bring it, to light until I pretty much sit down and make sure everything. I want to make sure I got all my T's crossed and all my I's dotted before I brought it to you, claiming to have mastery of it. But I do have mastery of self. That's the part. And that's where I got it from the Maya philosophy. And when you live by your spiritual discipline, you practice what you learn. My case, practice what I teach, okay? It means learning to what? Master oneself. If I can't control my emotions, if I can't control what come out of my pie hole, I can't claim self-mastery. Why? Because you're going to do things that I'm going to use the master, And people look at me strange when I tell them I can get ignorant. I can say and do ignorant stuff like anybody else. I just choose not to. That's the difference. I used to be real quick. Didn't make a difference to me. All right, but now the difference is you change for the better. That's the name of the game. My point. Myths speak a spiritual language because you got to think and understand it, and then what? Practice it. So now it's no longer a myth or story. You've experienced it for yourself. That's called gnosis. Okay, and that only high conscious people will understand the myth. They would get the story instead of getting caught up in, well, did that really happen? Did they really do that? All that nonsense. Learning is paying attention and taking in the information, reflecting upon it, meditating on it, take what works for you, and if it makes sense and you understand it, then you can comprehend it. Now you're good. Make a decision to practice it or not. But to just dismiss it without doing that makes no sense. Okay, that's all I'm saying. How do I know people are ignorant? By listening to them, watching them. I ain't making assumptions. I ain't got to make assumptions. I can observe, and then I can make an intelligent analysis of what I'm saying from observing or listening. You can't tell somebody what they said is right or wrong, good or bad, if you ain't listening. Moving on. The concept is, a wise man speaks because he has something to say. An ignorant man speaks because he can. A lot of us open a pie hole because I can. Perfect example. See, old sayings don't get old if they ain't true. Moving on. Now, as a master teacher, not bragging, no, wait a minute. Now, I learned my spiritual truth the old-fashioned way. How? By putting them to use, the daily, to see if they work. I tried it. Everything I learned, I put it to use. And everything that I tried, this stuff worked. Oh, it's like going to martial arts school. And you're training, and you actually get into a situation where you actually got to do it. Wow. Mm-hmm. Boxing, same thing. I learned to box since I was 6. I know how to fight with these. I'm good with these. So I ain't got a problem with that. But you, again, practice. I always worked out in my basement in the mirror, okay? Looking for a fight. Why? That's what I'm practicing for. I'm practicing for a fight. Oh, that's probably why I'm undefeated. Why? I defend myself well. I'm starting out. I ain't going looking for none. But if the wrong person run up on me, Scooby-Doo, roll. Yeah, you realize it after the fact. Monday morning quarterback, and you took an ass whooping. Now you realize you shouldn't have did that. Too late. Moving on. Like the president y'all picked, 77 million people, well, they made a mistake. Too late. Moving on. Now, as a master teacher of my own philosophical principles, right thing of philosophy, and my brother said, you just make your own stuff up. No, my man, no, I ain't making a damn thing up. I learned this over the years. I comprehended it, I manifested, compartmentalized it, put it in perspective, and then I lived it. So I know this. I ain't got to make nothing up. Sheesh. Now, I used myth telling to teach. It's a tool to teach by. Everybody do it. Okay, my favorite guy, myth telling, Joseph Campbell, the hero story. Check him out. Why? He would give you insight and understanding about life. He did it. He's a track star. He said his best day of his life when he knew he was going to win. He didn't get down who was ready. He didn't care. He knew he was ready. He had practice and he had everything set, and it worked out just like he planned. That's predestined concept that if you don't set the tone, it don't just happen out of it. It don't just work that way. And he knew full well that what he was doing. Muhammad Ali didn't make a mistake. These guys who go to greatness, it ain't by accident. Moving on, sorry, but yeah, the Bible, that book, is not a true book, ain't a book of truth. No, it's a mythological, astrological book that tells stories, of life before, to give you lessons that you should learn. You ain't gotta make the same dumb mistakes. That's the whole purpose of learning. Don't do the same, don't live the Bible, what some people do. Why? Because it's about you. It's a good book of giving you the basics, so get you started. What I got is high level stuff. Okay, this Bible, man, that's elementary. I'm like my man Sherlock Holmes, elementary. All y'all Christians, Muslims, and Jews, spare me. Okay, I'm next level. Buddha, that's where I'm at. Christ, that's where I'm at. Haru, that's where I'm at. Nihas, that's where I'm at. That 2% that had that, that's where I'm at. I ain't bragging, just making it known. I know what I'm talking about. And watch this. That Bible is a mythical book, but it's a good teaching tool. That's the purpose of it. Remember, the acronym, basic instruction before leaving Earth. They giving you things you need to know. Why? Because when it's over, you either going to reincarnate or go home. Their philosophy teaches you to be Christ-like to go home. Okay, Christ sits at the right. Man, yeah, I know all that. He got to hop there. Spare me that. Spare me. Please. The preacher mastered that book so that he can what? Biblical knowledge. I respect my dude's biblical knowledge of that book. 100%. And anybody else who took the time to study what? Lived it. I don't give a damn if you know it. I could care less how fluent you are with it. Are you living it? Right thing philosophy only works if you live it. So if you talking that good stuff and ain't living it, don't waste my time. Moving on. That's my point. I live my philosophy. Why? That's what I got it for. That's what I did it for. To use it. Biblical knowledge is all myths. Now they preach it to others, and that's fine. Again, if this title says sage, a sage is someone who practices what they teach. By what? Teaching through demonstrating. When? Daily. I don't take days off. I told one kid, yeah, I teach lessons on YouTube, talking. I said, I've been doing this now for 6 years. How many times you vacation? I do vacation. I don't take days off. Moving on, that's my philosophical concept. All right, and he was like, "Wow, yeah." Some people can't even conceive or comprehend that. Not my fault. I have mythical stories, but I also have my own life experiences. So I don't need to give you a bunch of mythological. The purpose is to teach, so I can just teach from my experience. That's the difference. That's what makes it right thinking. If I use the stories that they give, then I'm following their protocol. Then I become a Netarian. I become a Shemaiah we follow. Okay, but I'm a right thinker. Why? I put my twist on it. All right, but the stories as well as my own life experience. Those are not myths. Those are life lessons. Hence, I know all this already planned out. I got this strategized out. And you use my philosophy for yourself, and it'll do the same thing for you as it did for me. Gave me self-knowledge. Okay? Simple as that. Changed my life. Did that. Now, yoga. I'm not running around here telling everybody I'm a yogi, I'm master. No, but I teach the philosophy. It's part of my life lessons. I've been practicing yoga over 10 years now. Okay, meditating daily, getting understanding. I love that. Why? It part of changing my life. And yoga, aka meditation, is when you're communing with your higher self, aka God, and that is the only way you can get to God. Christ told he didn't make it that way, but he's telling you, I am the only way to the Father. Meditation. Not prayer. No, prayer you're talking, and that's fine because you listen. But meditating means he's talking and you're listening. How many of y'all can say, God talk to you? Y'all think that's taboo. God is mental. Telepathy. God communicates with us telepathically, with everybody. Like my man, Submariner, Prince of the Deep, Poseidon, they all control all the fish in the ocean telepathically. You really see where I'm going with that? Moving on. So that's the concept. That's God. God is mental. The first law of Hermetic principle, all is mental. God is mental. We're physical. Spirit, consciousness, that's God. All knowing, all spirit. He gives us the opportunity to become conscious. That's why he gave us consciousness. Moving on. It's a gift. I'm a spiritual practicing yogi for over 10 years now. And I can teach the 5 categories of yoga. I did it time and time again. I can teach you about a whole bunch of stuff. Yoga philosophy. I got the books. We just came out of there. So it's all about meditating and getting your higher consciousness and putting yourself in position where you're living and your kundalini is rising. That's what it's all about. And when the kundalini rises to the third eye chakra, ding, 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 fireworks, 1,000 lotus flowers goes off. Wow, that's the enlightenment. Okay, that burst, aka the Big Bang. It's all mental. Moving on. Now, with my right thinking philosophy is a yoga concept. Yeah. Not a religion. I've been saying that since I started this. It ain't a religion. It's a philosophy. Yoga, where it gets you in contact with God through daily meditation and then righteous living. That's how. But a way of life. Why? By living it daily. Everything we do, we got to do it daily. If the sun didn't do his job daily, we got a problem. Okay? Understand that. So don't get caught up in a person who works hard. I'm a Capricorn. I'm here to work hard. I love working. I put work in. That's what I do. For you. I do it for myself first. First is me. And then by doing that, I can give it to you. That's the difference. I'm asked, how do you know God exists? By a ignorant religious believer. A believer questioning my knowledge of God. Yeah, I blast him. I love you. But you are ignorant as a bag of rocks. The same communication I got knowing God is what you got by believing in God. Why you believe in God? You don't know? Believe means not to know. That makes you ignorant. That's why I called you ignorant. Not to disrespect you, but you are ignorant of your higher self. That's obvious to me. That's how I can tell you. You're ignorant. So I'm done. Yeah. I don't like ignorant people trying to make intelligent conversation where they are ignorant. You ain't got no intelligence. You are ignorant. You should be learning. No teaching. You don't teach nothing. You don't know nothing. Moving on. That's why teachers got to go to school and get degrees. Ministers and pastors got to go and get their degrees. Why? To be official. All that what you talking, if you ain't got the paper, shut up. I'm certified. Moving on. Sorry about that. It ain't just I'm flying by the seat of my pants, making up as I go. That ain't what I do. Speak for yourself. I don't do that. God, again, watch this. God is spirit. That's life that's in us. I'm going to break it down for you again. Being conscious, that means knowing, being aware of everything. That's God. He ain't physical. No nuts. He ain't man. He ain't woman. Okay? We are. Human bodies need the male and female. Spirit don't need that. God is spirit, and he gave man spirit and consciousness. Why? To communicate with him. That's why. Animals ain't got it. Cats have a pineal gland. And the Egyptians knew that. That's why the cats are sacred. Those God's chosen people. The people who he gave consciousness and the pineal gland to, that's us and the cats. I'm a cat lover. Okay? Do that. Simple thing. Yeah, I got nothing. Moving on. Let's. Oh Lord, I got to get out of here. I'm dragging. I'm getting too into this old stuff that I'm trying to bring it up to whatever. But okay, let me wrap it up for you. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. That's my whole intent. You have what? Your lower consciousness. That's the ego self. And you have a higher consciousness. Individual. We individuals. That means we have two things going on. Spirit and matter. Spirit is God. Matter is the physical body. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. We can't get back to spirit without what? Going through the human experience and becoming what? Enlightened. With who? By to thyself. Need to know God before you go back home. Okay? You can't go home. Where you live at? Who are you? Who is it? Trap door. Go back. That's nutty nice. God wouldn't do that. All right, here we go. Wrap it up again. I appreciate you tuning in. That mind's a bad thing. All right, now know the God and Goddess aspects, and you'll know yourself. I just gave you that lesson. Know the zodiac, and you know yourself too. Why? Zodiac know you before you did. It do me. I have no idea, but now I know I'm a Capricorn. You don't know about me? Google me. Capricorn. That's me. What they say about them, that's me. So I ain't got to do no more. I'm a Capricorn. Let me wrap this up. All right. Now, last one. Appreciate you tuning in. Knowing your God and Goddess aspect gives you knowledge of self. God is the male aspect of your dual personality in the flesh. Women, it's the same thing for y'all. Haru, male, Het Hadu, the female. Y'all live in the same house. What? The physical body. Okay? The spirit is male and female. That's why they got consorts. Goddess is the female aspect of your what? Dual individual personality. The flesh, meaning male and female. Why? In order for us to do God's work, reproduce, male and female got to come together. The Ankh here, right? That's what that represents. And at one time, we spoke in symbols, okay? That we need to understand and become conscious of the symbol. Why? The symbol has a hell of a message to it if you recognize it and understand what it means. That's why. Less words means more. The I says it all for me. Moving on. Know the stories, a.k.a. the myths. That's what they are. Myths of the gods and the goddess. And by learning them, you live by them. You become them. Christ. Y'all become Christ. Christians supposed to be Christ-like. They give you the whole story. But how the hell you going to become Christ-like and you don't know what he did for 18 years, according to what y'all say? Other people saying he went to Egypt, he went to Tibet, he went on a learning crusade. Okay. Thomas told you that. Y'all want to put that in the book. See, I ain't got time for that. Man can't be God, but he wants to play God. God ain't got time for that nonsense. Moving on. Knowledge is for us to obtain, share, and pass on. That's it. Use it and move on. I have all self-knowledge. I have all the conscious knowledge of my God and goddess aspects of myself. That's self-mastery. And the first aspect of yourself, that God we call set, that ego, if you don't put him in check, if you don't have control, you'll never know yourself. Why? He's going to stop you from doing that. He keeps you busy. Why? You think he's God. Ego means to edge God out. When you're working on ego, you're not God conscious. He was pure ego. Okay? I used to be egoistic. I changed. I'm God conscious now. Big difference. Wrapping it up. Again, appreciate you tuning in. Took a little, oh Lord. All right. I give you knowledge of what? The God and goddesses that's within you. You have to what? Learn and master them for yourself to what? Know thyself. I do that, you do that, and that's just what's going to happen. Hope you got the message. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I'll be right back. But right now, in closing, right thinkers, maybe it'll be 100, maybe 100 minus a day. I never know my right thinkers have passed away. I just gave you a 2-year-old lesson trying to dress it up for you. It took a little long, but it's always a learning purpose and lesson. I'm out. Sorry about that. I got to go.